So an 83-year-old priest in Greece is spending a considerable amount of money to free non-violent offenders that are locked away. Now, Greece has a really interesting system set up. If you have been convicted of a non-violent crime or a petty crime, you can buy your freedom. And oftentimes, this is something that benefits the wealthiest individuals because they have the resources to buy their freedom. And the poorest people remain behind bars. Now, the priest in question has spent a lot of money over the last 4 decades, and he has helped more than 15,000 convicts. And to give you a little more information about the system that's set up in Greece, the Greek rules apply only to people convicted of offenses that carry a maximum 5-year sentence, such as petty fraud, bodily harm, weapons possession, illegal logging, resisting arrest, and minor drug offenses. I don't know how I feel about bodily harm, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about illegal logging being so prevalent in Greece. Okay, it was a random thing in that list, but okay. But actually, the whole idea of being able to get out by paying a fine, I find actually really offensive.
I do too, absolutely.
In this case, it was turned for good, and this priest, I think, did a great job.
Yes.
And as you'll see from the whole story, but it's super questionable to begin with.
And by the way, his name is really difficult to pronounce, which is why I haven't said it. It's Gervasios Raptopoulos.
Why would you think that's hard to pronounce?
It's difficult to say, but I wanted to give him props because I love that he's actually concerned about helping the poor. In this case, the poor that are convicted of minor offenses. But I don't agree with being able to buy your freedom. I mean, if you feel that these are minor offenses, then why don't you focus on like rehabilitating them, maybe making them pay like a fine or doing community service as opposed to putting them behind bars? I think that that would make a lot more sense than putting them behind bars and then allowing rich people to buy their freedom. I'm sure there's a little bit of like profiteering or something going on behind the scenes.
No, it's for rich people so they can get out of minor things like this and be like, oh, illegal logging, please. Okay, we paid that off already. So there's the amazing case of Ecclestone that I've been meaning to tell folks about for a couple of days now. He's from London, but he went to Germany on a bribery charge, and he bribed his way out of the case.
Yep.
Okay, now, not technically bribery, but he'd paid over a $40 million bribe, and he's like, oh, I didn't know it was a bribe. What did you think the $40 million was for, right? And they settled, and they decided that he would pay a fine, which was a huge fine. I think it was around $100 million, right? But he's like, no, I didn't really do it, but here's $100 million. Okay, dude, you did it, okay? Yeah. So he serves no prison time by being able to buy his way out of it. Now, here, this guy uses it for good because, like, God, the people he got out, there are all these, like, really touching stories. They had done this minor thing. It's almost like out of Les Mis. Like, Jean Valjean is like, I stole a loaf of bread to feed my sister, right? And he gets them out, and they come back and thank him decades later. And they repay him, by the way, so that he could use that money to get other people out. So it's very heartwarming, and I love the priest for doing this.
Yeah, I love it as well. I think overall it's a happy ending, but they should probably reconsider changing the system in Greece.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, I'm glad that at least he's serving a little bit of justice out. And by the way, this is exactly what you're supposed to do as a Christian, to go to the poor, the needy, that need your help the most and help them. Remember, Jesus didn't judge the prostitute, he helped her, right? And so he's living by a rare Christian leader actually living by Christ's teachings. Okay, now one last thing that I found amazing in this story. They say Greece, there's overpopulated prisons, and now they're doubling up a lot in these cells, and they shouldn't be, and it's a big problem for them. You want to know the whopping prison population in Greece? 13,000 inmates.
That's like what we have in one prison here.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? That's like that's a small county in America's prison population. Like, America imprisons, I believe, 25% of the prisoners in the world are in the U.S. That's amazing, right? We put in prison every year over 700,000 people for marijuana possession. Just marijuana possession. Every year, 700,000 people. A non-violent offense.
That sounds like a good use of resources.
Yeah, Greece is like, oh, we got a big prison problem here. We have 13,000 people in prison. Ooh. So, I find that amazing because it gives you a sense of how draconian we are here in the U.S.